Okay, so now I will explain to you, mansplain to you. See this? The the triggers are better. They're more shaped to your hands, like this. The bumpers, instead of, going down it feels like a computer button, how it's so squishy, but these ones just click. So it feels like you're actually pressing a button. These, I must say, the main feature are these joysticks. The placement feels natural instead of having my thumb go down there. I know this very dedicated PlayStation player never bought an Xbox. I know him. And he used this controller. He was like, oh my gosh, yeah, these definitely feel natural like this. He likes how they're smaller instead of the really big joysticks, which is also something that Nintendo does wrong, but I say it's Xbox Nintendo than PlayStation with the Pro controllers. Nintendo Joy-Cons don't have really big things right here. The D-pad is good because it's a full D-pad, it's not like the separate buttons on the D-pad. And even though it is more squishy, it just still feels like you're actually pressing a button. Now, the main thing about the joysticks is I realized usually in shooter games, you go up like this on the left joystick to walk, and then you press it to run, okay? That's really, really hard to do when you're doing it like this on a PlayStation controller. It's just really hard to do. Like, you can do it easily like this, but you're not running like that. You're running like this, So it's just really easy to do. And then for Fortnite, especially auto sprint, bam, you got that instead of, ow, that hurt. And the same thing for this one too. The buttons feel good. Yeah, they just feel pretty good. I'm not going to say these 4 buttons mainly feel bad on the PlayStation controller. I don't know. I just like how it's sort of built into the controller. And this B button right here, if you can tell, is shaped differently than, say, the X button, because it's going off the edge, which actually makes it feel more comfortable that way. That's just better for pressing the B button. I don't know why, it just is. I like that there's no touchpad because barely any games whatsoever use the touchpad on the PlayStation controller. Now, one thing I will give to the PlayStation controller is that it does have motion controls, I'm pretty sure. While not many games use them, and it kind of looks weird at best. Yeah. The grips. Well, actually, this is just a wired controller. The wired controller is a bit better than this for grips. For this one, it feels a little bit like it's sliding out my hand, but the PlayStation controller isn't any better for that. And I will say, on the default controller for the Xbox, it is a little harder to press when you do like that, but it's still way, way easier than PlayStation. Man, the triggers feel so nice on this one. That was a click. Yep, I like that there's the home button right here, and it's really big, so you can easily press it. A menu is a little hard to navigate, but I don't know. It only took me like 2 days to get used to. So that is all good. Now, the base PS4 runs horribly, and the base Xbox runs better than the base PS4. You'd have to get a PS4 Slim or Pro. But yeah, overall, this is just very natural for me. I can't imagine having to do this all the time because my left hand just doesn't go nice down there. I don't know. It's just better like this. And when they're reversed, it feels weird on both sides. But it's perfect like this. So yeah, I'm not just thinking that this is better just because I've grown up with this. Actually, I've grown up the other way. Wii Pro controller. It has both of these down here. It does not feel right having both of them down there. I mean, I play like that with Mario Kart, and it feels okay, and it feels fine when you're using it, and you haven't used an Xbox controller. But once I switched to the 360 controller, after I got my 360 when I was younger, it just felt so much more natural using this. And I must say, 360 controller is probably the best controller, just because of the grip. The triggers feel nice, the bumpers, the buttons right here. These start and back buttons, I know you don't use them too much, but they feel nice as well. The D-pad feels amazing. The D-pad on the Wii remote doesn't feel too good, but this isn't about Wii. So yeah, this is actually how I grew up, using this controller. It's just not good, okay? You should just trust me on that one. Nintendo used this standard layout because that's all there was back then before the original Xbox came out. Before the original Xbox came out, this was the controller with only these two sticks, because that's what PlayStation did and that's what worked. So yeah, I mean, you know, that's what PlayStation did, that's what worked, that's the only really way there was. And then Xbox used it that way. Nintendo was like, oh wait, let's just try it that way. And I was like, oh my gosh, this is so much more natural. How did PlayStation not even think of that? So that's why the Switch is like that today. And the Wii U, that was a whole bust. That thing was just horrible. Honestly, they thought that because the left one felt natural up here, then the right one must also feel natural up here, and the buttons feel more natural on the bottom. Not the case. Not the case at all. That's horrible. Don't do that. I mean, using a joystick up there is just not okay. That's why Xbox controller is better than the Gaystation controller. I hope you guys like the video. If you're PlayStation, I'm not hating. I actually kind of like the PlayStation. I don't know. The Xbox controller is better. I've never actually liked any of the PlayStation exclusives. Halo's like the crap. Okay, Halo's the game. And it is an Xbox exclusive. So if it comes out on the Switch, which I hope I'll be getting in 9 days, Christmas, 9 days, then, you know, if I get the Switch and Halo comes out, which it probably won't because it's just Xbox only good exclusive, then, I don't know. But usually PlayStation people make the argument that PlayStation exclusives are better, and Xbox doesn't have any exclusives, and they exclude the Switch players when obviously Nintendo's above the game when you're talking about exclusives. But yeah, this is really easy to use. I've been using this for years. And then this is the really old one before headphones, microphones used the support, and then I needed a new controller for my headphones. So I got this one, and the wired controllers for Xbox are so much better. It's probably the best controller ever. I know I said this one's the best controller ever, but I just meant like base, default controller. This is probably the best controller there is out there. And you can hook it up to your Switch. I think PlayStation via adapter. So a PlayStation with the Xbox controller, and if you somehow got Halo on there, would probably be the best console there is. Obviously below the Switch, if the Switch got a graphics upgrade. But I've never cared about graphics. Anyway, this video's been way too long. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. This controller whack. This controller good. This controller really good. This controller is pro. See you guys in the next one. kill Gaystation. Furry War is over, and now it's time for the Civil War against Xbox and PlayStation. Peace out. Video's too long.